Hi there. With the release of the new clear mount stamps, I've had several people ask me how to convert the mounted stamps to acrylic to use with the clear blocks. So today I'm going to show you how. I'm starting with a stamp from the Very Punny set. This is an older stamp that I've had mounted for quite a while. And what I've done, first thing I'm going to want to do is to remove this rubber from the back of the wood block. And I have taken this and put it into the microwave for 8 seconds. You can put them in there for 8 to 10 seconds just to loosen that adhesive. So I'm going to very carefully pull that off the back of the block. So now I've removed the foam and the rubber. Everything just came off. Next I'm going to take a piece of scratch paper. This is just copy paper. That's just going to be something to help me keep this stable. And a piece of tissue paper, just regular wrapping tissue paper, that I've cut to a smaller size just so it's easier to work with. Then I'm going to take some tape and just stick that tissue down so that it doesn't move while I'm working with it. And then we're going to use permanent StazOn jet black ink to ink this image. So I'm just going to take this rubber and press it on the StazOn ink. And then I am going to place it on the tissue and make sure that it doesn't move. Just hold it into place over the tissue. So you've got your image on there, but keep it in that position, and then just take a pencil and trace around the rubber onto the tissue paper. Okay, once you have that traced, then you can go ahead and remove the stamped image. Now you're going to want to clean your stamp because that StazOn is permanent. So go ahead and use your StazOn ink cleaner. And just clean that rubber off. Okay, so now that you've got that clean, you can go on to the next step. I'm going to take the Tombow Mono Multi-Liquid Glue and just apply a little bit to my finger and just put a small thin layer of this all the way past the edge of the pencil mark onto the tissue. This is going to work as an adhesive, and just be careful because this tissue will tear, but be gentle with it. And then on the back of your rubber and the foam, you're going to do the same thing. Apply this liquid glue to the back. This, as it dries, will become very tacky, and it's going to work great for this. So just give it a good coat of this liquid glue, and we're going to let that set for a couple minutes so that it can get good and tacky. Okay, now we're going to take some parchment paper, which, if you are not familiar with parchment paper, it's used for baking. You can find it in the grocery store by the foil and the cling wraps. And you'll notice on parchment paper there's a smooth side and there's a side that has a little bit of a texture to it. And I cut this again to a small enough size to just work with, make it easier. And we're going to take the textured side and place it over, now that this is tacky, we're going to place it over the image on the tissue, and we're just going to press that onto that tissue paper. Okay. This is going to act as kind of an adhesive backing that you would normally have on a wood mount stamp that that you receive, here's one, that has not been mounted yet, it's not assembled, and that backing is on there, that's what the parchment paper is going to act as. If you're going to convert a wood set that has not been assembled yet, you really can skip this whole step with the adhesive because you've got your, or at least on your stamp, because you've got your adhesive backing already on there. Just peel off the backing and you're set to go. But for ours, since we're using a stamp set that has already been mounted, we are going to take, I can put this aside, we're going to take clear vinyl. I purchased this at our local Hancock's fabric store. Sometimes it's called vinyl fabric. And this is vinyl that is 0.004 thickness. I believe the 0.008 will also work really well. This is going to work as the cling. So I cut a small piece that will fit over this outline, this pencil outline. And when you get this, make sure that it is actually vinyl, not plastic or polyethylene. The way that you can tell is if you fold it back on itself, it sticks to itself, so it doesn't slide. That's a good way to tell whether or not you've got actual vinyl. Okay, we're going to remove the scrap of copy paper from the back side here because I don't really need that anymore. This is going to make this easier to work with. So I can just take this off of here. I'm not going to take that off so it's not sticking to everything. Alright, I'm going to take one edge of this parchment paper and just peel it back to where I can get to part of the image that it has the adhesive on it. And I'm going to put that over the vinyl piece and just kind of rub that on there. And then I'm going to peel back the rest of this part that kind of popped off by itself. Otherwise you would peel that back. So you're attaching that to the vinyl, and then just turn the vinyl over because the tissue is so delicate. Turn the vinyl over and then really press that image onto the vinyl so that it's on there really well. Okay, once you've got that on there, you're going to take your scissors, just your paper snips, and I've still got tape on here. Just cut around the pencil line. This is going to fit perfectly on the back of that rubber once we get it cut out. Okay. So there you have your image. Now I'm going to take the stamp and make sure that I line this up so that it's exactly in the direction it needs to be to match up. Take this, and because this is now tacky, that mono liquid glue is tacky, you can actually just lay this right over the back. It should fit perfect over the back side. Only I've got to position it just right. And just press that cling. Onto the back side of your stamp. And that's going to adhere great. Then because I've had my fingers all over the back side of this, just take a napkin or a little tissue and clean the oil from your fingers off the back, because it will cling much better if you do that. So now to show you that this actually does work, I'm going to go ahead and adhere it or cling it to the back of my block. And I will use some Melon Mambo ink. Ink that up. Works great. And then just to show you that it clings just like the new ones, I'm going to go ahead and clean this too so you can see that it stays in place for cleaning. And works just like the new Clearmount stamps. So that's how it's done. If you have any questions, just email me. Thanks for watching.